how to become the sixth sensory who manifests healthy relationships. How do we become that person who can manifest anything we want and get that respect from five sensories, have the life, have the clothing that we desire, have the housing we desire, and the beautiful life, the beautiful grace, and all the accomplishments that come with that? How do we become that person? Because when we change our identity as a sixth sensory to somebody that is empowered, to somebody that is successful, to somebody who uses their intuition for the good of the planet, that's when we're able to influence other people. But we may have had childhood events that have challenged us and stopped us from becoming our fullest potential. Think of the times when you were bullied when you were a child. Did you have people picking on you because you were of another race or a specific gender, or because of the clothes you wore or the income level your family was at? Were you ever picked on because you were smarter than the other kids, or you were too masculine, too feminine, out of style? Whatever the reasons were, you have to let go of whatever happened to you when you were a child in order to become the new influential person that is going to move the room and achieve the things that she's hoping to manifest. If you don't become that person, that old identity is going to follow you like baggage. You have to work through it and realize who you really are as a human being. Even if you've had a supposedly good upbringing. I remember hearing about the popular kids from my high school having to experience rape from the other popular kids. And I realized that even those kids that looked good on the outside in my high school had problems. So we all have problems when we're growing up. Just because you're popular or you're attractive doesn't exclude you from trauma. So we all have to find ways to deal with that trauma in order to become our fullest selves as adults, in order to manifest the things that are really, really important to us in our lives. And the good news is we can usually simplify our lives down to a few very important priorities, like your home or where you go to spend time outside of your home. These sorts of priorities should take up more of your attention than buying superficial stuff, because stuff gives us joy in the moment that we get it, and there's nothing wrong with that, but we can spend a lot of time, money, and energy on stuff that is completely unnecessary. Or maybe it's food for you. If you're not going out to dinner and having a really enriching time with enlightening people, then you probably shouldn't be eating out at all. Preparing food at home is usually better for your health, it's better for your pocketbook, and it leaves you feeling like you're a competent adult, whereas you're very dependent on others when you're constantly eating out. And so it's very critical to have these life skills as an adult in order to feel like you can stand on your own 2 feet, that nobody else is going to push you around. No influence is going to force you to eat terribly or to spend money on things that are not that important. Preparing food at home is usually better for your health, it's better for your pocketbook, and it leaves you feeling like you're a competent adult, whereas you're very dependent on others when you're constantly eating out. And so it's very critical to have these life skills as an adult in order to feel like you can stand on your own 2 feet, that nobody else is going to push you around. No influence is going to force you to eat terribly or to spend money on things that are not that important. Preparing food at home is usually better for your health, it's better for your pocketbook, and it leaves you feeling like you're a competent adult, whereas you're very dependent on others when you're constantly eating out. And so it's very critical to have these life skills as an adult in order to feel like you can stand on your own 2 feet, that nobody else is going to push you around. No influence is going to force you to eat terribly or to spend money on things that are not that important to you. If you're living at home with a parent who's not a good influence, or you're living with roommates who are constantly drinking and smoking weed, these sorts of influences are not good for your identity. They're not good for your personal surroundings. You want to keep your personal surroundings calm and pure. No matter how much expense this is requiring you to take on, I would say this is a very big influence in your life that's going to determine whether or not you feel good about yourself as an adult. If you're surrounded by negative people, regardless if they're your family or your friends that you're living with, they're going to have a bad impact on your consciousness because they're constantly in your face and influencing you the wrong way. You need to have a bit of space. You need to have a bit of independence. And if you really can't move out at the moment, maybe you need to wait a few days to get the next paycheck, then spend your time in the library. Go out to places that are safe spaces for you to hang out in with good people around you, and work on your goals, dreams, and ambitions in the quiet presence of other people who are also studying and working on their goals, dreams, and ambitions. If you're going to tell me this advice is too hard to implement, I'm going to tell you have an authentic self, an authentic dream life, your success, your manifestations that you are sacrificing. It's okay to temporarily take shelter somewhere when you're figuring out your next plan to make sure that you're safe. Having said that, don't stay in unsafe places any longer than you have to. You have to protect your dreams. Don't let anybody, either in your immediate life or even in your outside life, if you've got a nasty bank, fire them. If you've got a nasty insurance company, fire them. And be very careful about owning money. You never want to have nasty bill collectors harassing you or bothering you for money either. You want to live in the calmest, purest vibration possible to support your authentic identity and only take on challenges that are really meant for you to grow and inspire you. Don't take on stuff that is unnecessary. It's pointless to spend money on stuff that will get you in trouble financially and will only allow you to collect negative experiences. No one's approval is really worth you wasting your money. The only approval that matters to you as an intuitive is your own approval of yourself. So only consume things that really feed your true nature and your authentic self, and leave all of the unnecessary stuff behind.